Have you ever wondered how the ancient religious movements in India shaped the spiritual landscape of the world? India, this vibrant subcontinent, has been a cradle of spirituality for millennia. Its rich tapestry of culture and history is interwoven with tales of profound religious philosophies, each shaping the contours of human thought and spirituality over the ages. From the ancient Vedas that gave birth to Hinduism to the non-Vedic traditions of Buddhism and Jainism, India has been the birthplace of diverse spiritual philosophies. Each has its distinct essence, yet they all share a common thread: the quest for inner peace and enlightenment. These philosophies, born in the heart of India, have not just influenced the Indian subcontinent, but have also traversed across borders, shaping beliefs and practices worldwide. India's spiritual legacy is not just an aspect of its past, but a living, breathing part of its present, continuing to inspire and guide millions. Let's embark on a journey tracing the evolution of these religious movements that have left an indelible imprint on human consciousness. Our journey begins in the ancient cityscapes of the Indus Valley civilization. Here, nestled between the winding rivers of the Indus and Ghaggar Hakra, a complex society flourished over 4,000 years ago. This civilization, with its advanced urban planning and intricate artisanry, also held the genesis of spirituality in the Indian subcontinent. Their religious practices, though enigmatic, carry echoes that reverberate through the ages. The reverence they held for the natural world was pronounced. They saw the divine in the elements, in the gentle babble of the river and the fierce blaze of the sun. Their seals depict animals, trees, and humans, possibly indicating a belief in the interconnectedness of all beings, a concept that later permeated Indian philosophies. But the most intriguing aspect of their spirituality is the existence of a possible proto-Shiva deity. The Pashupati seal, as it is known, features a horned figure surrounded by animals seated in a yogic posture. This figure bears a striking resemblance to Lord Shiva as Pashupati, the Lord of Animals, a deity that is central to later Hinduism. This suggests that the roots of some of the major deities of Hinduism may have been planted in the fertile ground of the Indus Valley civilization. However, the language of the Indus script remains undeciphered, leaving us to speculate about their beliefs and practices based on archaeological evidence. Despite these uncertainties, the spiritual ethos of the Indus Valley civilization is undeniable. Their respect for nature, their possible belief in a higher deity, and their apparent value for harmony among living beings all hint at a sophisticated spiritual worldview. The Indus Valley civilization was eventually eclipsed, its cities abandoned. But the spiritual seeds sown in the fertile soils of the Indus Valley would soon sprout into diverse philosophies. As we journey forward in time, we'll see how these nascent spiritual ideas evolved and blossomed into the rich tapestry of religious movements that have shaped the Indian subcontinent and beyond. As the Indus Valley civilization faded, the Vedic age dawned, giving birth to what we now know as Hinduism. This epochal shift, around 1500 BCE, marked the arrival of the Aryans in the Indian subcontinent. With them, they brought a wealth of oral traditions and religious rituals that were later compiled into the Vedas. The Vedas, meaning knowledge in Sanskrit, are considered the oldest scriptures of Hinduism. They consist of 4 main collections: the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. These texts, composed in Vedic Sanskrit, contain hymns, incantations, and rituals from ancient India. They are revered as the bedrock of Hindu philosophy, laying the foundation for a rich tapestry of beliefs, rituals, and traditions. The Rigveda, the oldest of the Vedas, introduces us to the vibrant pantheon of the Vedic gods and goddesses. Notable among them are Indra, the king of gods and the god of thunder and rain, Agni, the god of fire and the acceptor of sacrifices, and Varuna, the god of cosmic order and law. These deities were invoked through hymns and rituals, seeking their blessings for prosperity, protection, and wisdom. The Vedas also gave rise to the concept of Urta, the cosmic order or law, which later evolved into Dharma, a central tenet of Hinduism. It signifies the moral and ethical duties that individuals must follow to live a righteous life. The Vedas were not just religious texts, they were a way of life, influencing societal norms, ethics, and values that persist to this day. However, it's essential to remember that the Vedic age was not a monolithic era. It was a dynamic, evolving period of spiritual and philosophical exploration. The Vedas sparked debates and discussions, leading to the birth of the Upanishads, the end portions of the Vedas, which delved into metaphysical questions about the nature of reality, the self, and the ultimate truth. The Vedic age laid the foundation for many philosophical schools, some of which challenged the very essence of Vedic teachings. The seeds sown during this era would germinate into diverse spiritual movements, shaping the religious landscape of India for millennia to come. In the crucible of intellectual and spiritual debate, two new paths emerged: Buddhism and Jainism. As the ancient Indian society grappled with the complexities of life, these two philosophies proposed new ways to find peace and liberation. Buddhism was born from the profound contemplation of Siddhartha Gautama, a prince from the northern Indian subcontinent. He renounced his royal life in search of understanding the root cause of human suffering. After years of meditation and introspection, he emerged as the Buddha, the enlightened one. His teachings emphasized the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, steering followers towards a middle way, devoid of extremes. The Buddha taught compassion and mindfulness as powerful tools to transcend suffering and attain nirvana, the ultimate state of liberation. Parallelly, in the same era, another school of thought was taking shape: Jainism, founded by Vadamana Mahavira. Mahavira, like Buddha, was of royal descent, but chose asceticism to understand the nature of existence. He preached an austere path of non-violence, truth, and self-restraint. The doctrine of ahimsa, non-violence, was so central to Jainism that it extended not just to humans, but all living beings. Mahavira's teachings laid the foundation of a philosophy that championed asceticism and karma's understanding to achieve liberation. The rise of Buddhism and Jainism marked a significant shift in the spiritual landscape of ancient India. They proposed paths of spiritual liberation that did not rely on ritualistic sacrifices or the social hierarchy of the caste system, thus appealing to a broader segment of society. Their teachings resonated with the masses, leading to the expansion of these philosophies beyond the borders of India to lands far and wide. These heterodox movements, with their emphasis on personal spiritual development, non-violence, and liberation, heralded a new chapter in the annals of spirituality. They provided alternatives to the prevalent orthodoxy and paved the way for a more inclusive and diverse spiritual discourse. These heterodox movements would travel far beyond the Indian subcontinent, influencing millions of lives. In the Middle Ages, two powerful movements swept across India, emphasizing love and devotion as the path to the divine. The Bhakti movement, originating in the south of India, was an eruption of poetic fervor and religious passion. Its proponents were poets and saints who sang in the vernacular languages, propelling a shift away from the elitist Sanskrit. They sought the divine through personal devotion, love, and surrender, breaking the shackles of ritualistic worship. Bhakti saints like Mira, Kabir, and Tukaram, irrespective of their social or caste status, sang of a personal God, one who resided within all beings. Their teachings were profound yet simple, accessible to everyone, creating a sense of unity and equality. They rejected caste distinctions and gender discriminations, promoting social inclusivity. Parallelly, the Sufi movement was stirring in the heartlands of Islam. The Sufis, Islamic mystics, also emphasized a love-infused devotion, seeking a direct, personal experience of the divine. They danced, they sang, they whirled. The dervishes, as they were called, sought to lose themselves in the ecstatic rhythm of divine love. Like the Bhakti saints, Sufi masters such as Rumi and Hafiz also taught in the language of the people. They too disregarded social hierarchies and religious orthodoxy. Their path was the path of the heart, a path that invited everyone, irrespective of their religious affiliations. The Bhakti and Sufi movements, although emerging from different religious traditions, were remarkably similar. They both emphasized a direct, personal relationship with the divine, bypassing the need for priests or intermediaries. They both used music, poetry, and dance as expressions of spiritual longing, and they both advocated love, compassion, and equality as the fundamental principles of spiritual life. The impact of these movements was profound. They democratized spirituality, making it accessible to everyone regardless of their social or religious background. They brought the divine down from the heavens and placed it within the heart of the common man, making spirituality a part of everyday life. These movements brought spirituality to the common man, making it a part of everyday life. In the recent centuries, India has witnessed a resurgence of spiritual movements, each with its unique blend of tradition and modernity. The teachings of spiritual leaders like Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Aurobindo, Osho, and the Dalai Lama have found resonance not just within India, but across the globe. Ramakrishna, a 19th century mystic, preached the unity of all religions, a message that was later propagated worldwide by his disciple, Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda's teachings emphasized the importance of practical Vedanta, a philosophy that combines spiritual knowledge with day-to-day life. Next, we delve into Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga, a path that seeks to bring about a spiritual evolution of the human being. His focus was not just personal liberation, but a collective spiritual transformation of humanity. Then we have Osho, a controversial figure who challenged traditional religious norms. His teachings, often viewed as radical, encouraged individuality, meditation, and a celebration of love and life. Despite the controversies, Osho's message has found followers worldwide, thus demonstrating the global appeal of these modern spiritual movements. Last, but certainly not least, we have the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism. While not born in India, he has spent a significant part of his life there, spreading messages of compassion, non-violence, and interfaith harmony. His teachings have touched millions, transcending boundaries of nation, faith, and culture. These spiritual movements, each with its unique philosophy, have managed to touch the hearts of people around the world. They have adapted to the changing times, incorporating modern ideas while staying rooted in ancient wisdom. Their teachings, while diverse, share a common thread: the pursuit of inner peace and self-realization. While adapting to the changing times, these movements have kept the ancient spiritual wisdom of India alive. This eternal wisdom, deeply embedded in India's spiritual traditions, continues to guide humanity towards a path of peace, harmony, and enlightenment. From the ancient cityscapes of the Indus Valley to the bustling metropolises of the modern age, India's spiritual journey is a testament to the human quest for the divine. The spiritual tapestry of India is woven with threads of diverse religious beliefs and practices, each contributing to the rich, vibrant mosaic of faith that defines the subcontinent. Our journey began in the cradle of the Indus Valley civilization, where we saw the embryonic stages of spirituality blossom into a dynamic force that would shape the future of the region. The Vedas then illuminated the path, marking the birth of Hinduism. Its profound philosophies and timeless rituals became the bedrock of Indian spirituality, permeating every facet of life and culture. The teachings of the Vedas have withstood the test of time, remaining relevant and revered till today. Yet, India's spiritual journey did not remain confined within the realms of orthodoxy. The rise of Buddhism and Jainism heralded an era of heterodoxy, challenging established norms and offering alternative paths to spiritual enlightenment. These movements, grounded in compassion, non-violence, and introspection, have had a profound influence not just in India, but across the globe. As the wheel of time turned, the Bhakti and Sufi movements emerged, infusing Indian spirituality with a sense of personal devotion and mystical experience. These movements, with their emphasis on love, tolerance, and unity, underscored the inclusive nature of Indian spirituality. In the modern era, new spiritual movements have taken root, each with its unique interpretation of ancient wisdom tailored for the contemporary seeker. These movements have opened up new avenues for spiritual exploration, bridging the gap between the ancient and the modern, the traditional and the progressive. As we continue to seek answers to life's profound questions, the ancient wisdom of India serves as a beacon, guiding us in our collective spiritual journey. The evolution of religious movements in India demonstrates the resilience and adaptability of faith, offering us a panoramic view of the human quest for the divine.